Hello, everyone. Just starting our first live from WEBIT Virtual. The WEBIT Virtual is the thought leadership program which we have developed together with a lot of partners and friends from all around the world. This is not about the production. This is about the content. This is about how we build together and we bring back our thought leadership in our lives. The coronavirus has put breaking news at the top of everything, in the top of our lives, in the top of our business, and there is a good reason for this. You will hear more during this next 1 hour from all our amazing participants. I'm humbled and honored to have here with us the real fighters, the real people who, with their hearts and with their bodies, are at the front line of what we, the humankind, are facing today. And it's not a drill. We all know that this is real and it takes human lives. And it's a threat. It's probably the biggest threat that humankind has faced for the past 100 years. Why we do this? It's very simple. We are in time when it's not about leadership, it's about stewardship. It's about making it possible for every one of us to be together and to support as much as possible what we are doing. Today, I'm very honored. It's Saturday, and I'm very honored to have with us Professor Shafi Ahmed, who is the co-host of WEBIT Virtual. Hello, Professor Ahmed. How are you?
Hi, Plamen. I'm very well, thank you. And thank you very much for putting this together, to bring global experts together to talk about COVID and find out the truth behind COVID-19 and share experiences. It's great to join you here from London.
Thank you so much for joining us from London. And you are the chair of our WEBIT Health Innovation and hosting this wonderful program. I am honestly fully committed to what we do together. And I'm so grateful that you spend time and resources bringing in a lot of the network that you work with and so much of your knowledge that you're sharing. So in few words, I would like to start telling the world why we do this. And I already mentioned one of the important elements, giving back to community, creating value for the community that supported us. Currently, we have people from all around the world watching this live. And I have to count at the end because we have already had registrations, but I think we have more than 150 different countries registered to join this call. At the end of the day, we shall be supporting creation of a valuable content, but also we shall be supporting creation of real solutions. You are aware that we have launched our COVID Global Health Security Challenge. And at the end of this program, we shall be having a number of startups who will be presenting in front of us. In the meantime, we shall hear great leaders from all around the world being here with us. But I would like to give the floor now to Professor Shafi Ahmed, who will make the introduction of this call, and we shall continue with the rest of the participants. Shafi.
Thanks very much, Plamen, and welcome everyone around the world to our first WEBIT Virtual Health Summit. In a moment, we'll introduce our speakers from China, Wuhan in China, and also from Milan, Lombardy, shortly to discuss their experiences so that we can all learn from the best practices around the world. So if you look at where we are now, it's an interesting place. This is really, we're living in unprecedented times. This is unique. We've never been through this before as a community, as a global community. And I see this as an inflection point for humanity. After today, the society will change. Healthcare will change, hopefully for the better. We're looking at different ways of managing population health and also managing illnesses in the future. Hopefully we'll learn a lot from experiences over the last few months from around the world. Because this coronavirus, COVID-19, is a global pandemic requiring global solution, hence this global summit that we've created. We know that at the moment, if you look at the statistics, today we've had over 1.2 million positive cases for COVID-19 around the world. Sadly, and unfortunately, that's led to almost 60,000 deaths. We're all touched by this illness in one form or the other. We've had people at the forefront of healthcare losing their lives. We've seen loved ones affected by the coronavirus. It affects all of us. We've seen the epicenters originally from China and then going through Southeast Asia, and now we're seeing Europe being affected from Italy, Spain, France, of course, where I'm in the UK, and now to the US, who has a significant problem, but also now into South America. We've just seen the trickling now effect into Africa. So no one is immune. This has no borders. So as a community, we have to create solutions that overcome the borders, just like the virus itself. What I have been noticing, and let's be positive, is the community working together. If you think about the global shortage of PPE, personal protective equipment, we're seeing companies now come to the forefront to create mass amounts of protection for everybody around the world. WHO has talked about this testing globally to make sure that we look at population health, map the illness, and then take precautions. We've seen crowdsource and kind of tech companies coming together to create ventilators en masse. We know we're short, so we're seeing a huge interest and passion for people to be involved in healthcare. We're seeing testing from both antibodies and antigen to try to map this illness going forward. We're also seeing vaccines being fast-tracked from global pharma companies, and hopefully we'll have the cure by the end of the year to find that vaccine that will eradicate the disease for all of us. In the meantime, we're seeing lockdowns around the world, people adhering to social distancing and social isolation. These are unique times, as I said before. This is why we really need to share knowledge on a global scale to find out more about this illness, to share experiences of people who've been at the forefront and trying to save lives. So that's kind of my introduction into the world that we live in. And I'm hopefully going to learn a lot from our great speakers from around the world. The reason why we put this together, we're thinking about how we share and learn resources. And as you know, we've seen people in different parts of the world having to face unique challenges with facilities that are not coping, with an increased amount of patients on a daily basis. We've seen the lack of resources. We've seen therapies that have been highlighted as may be significant or not. We've seen clinical trials taking place around the world. So the whole world is actually working together to see whether we can impact this COVID-19. But of course, there's challenges. No country in the world has managed to do it perfectly. Everyone's making mistakes, but learning from one another. And so really, I think that this whole global pandemic is teaching us a lot about how human society will work going forward. Of course, there's impact on the economics. There's going to be impact on education, as we've seen, people being not going to school, etc. So there'll be a huge impact in society as a whole. So that's kind of where we are.